be nervous, man. You all right, man?
All right, we in the building, man. Twin City Sports. What's your name? Introduce yourself. What's your name and where you're from?
Jamal Randle, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah.
You gotta speak up, man. Come on, man. We need you, man. The energy. We need the energy.
I got
This is
you.
TCS. This is Twin City Sports, man. You on Twin City Sports right
You
now.
don't want him yelling.
But no, let's just get into it, man. Literally, man. So you on Twin City Sports. You said your name is Jamal Randle from St. Paul, Minnesota, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So what was your early childhood like growing up in St. Paul?
St. Paul, it was a lot of like community. You know, Jimmy Lee was a big part of it. You know, just the rec center and just the place as a whole. I met a lot of good friends, good people, still good with to this day, and it was filled with a lot of basketball. My father he played a lot of sports growing up, and I got into it early. I think it was like 2 years old. I started hooping, so like, yeah.
That's early.
No, that's forever.
Yeah. That's early.
That's very early.
That's early, and it's funny because when we have people come up here for like, I guess like majority of all the interviews, when you ask people like where they play at early childhood, you always hear Jimmy Lee being like mentioned. That's kind of crazy. It's like it's like a landmark really in the Twin Cities when it comes to sports and athletics, especially at that early age, man. 'Cause I know, isn't that where you kind of know this guy from right here, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Lee.
Yes,
so
sir.
it's like that just shows you how deep it is, man. So
Did you play any other sports growing up?
I tried football. It wasn't really for me.
How old were you?
I think I was like maybe like 9, 10.
Yeah, that's early.
That's early.
It was with Palace.
Oh, okay.
So,
It was decent. Yeah.
I was there for that too.
Shout out to Palace, man. RP Coach Jody Washington. That's where I met some of my good friends that playing for Palace, man, for sure. That's great right there. Was it like a hit that made you want to like change? Like what was it? Like it had to be something like it was like
It was,
no. Because I know it happened to me.
Yeah. Shout out Marquand. We was doing the Oklahoma drill.
Oh yeah.
And I had got up, and Marquand was probably the biggest hitter on our team. I'm going up against Marquand. I see Marquand coming at me. I turn my back. and my dad, he was like, "What you doing? You're not supposed to turn your back." I was like, "Yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me."
I remember them hit drills, and that was me having them do them.
Yeah.
They always say, what's that little thing you always say? The Oklahoma drill turns football players to basketball players or something like that.
And hockey players, and baseball players, everything but football.
Everything but football. Only about. Well, they made a hell of a basketball player in you, man. Shout out to that.
For sure.
That's crazy, man.
So I heard you say a little bit, your pops was kind of influenced because he played major sports, but did you have any other inspirations that made you want to get ready or once you started playing that, inspired you to, keep going with basketball?
Probably my brother. My brother, we had a lot of battles, and because he was older than me, I looked up to him, and just the one-on-ones, him working out with me.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like good times, and he taught me a lot of things, and some things when I just see him playing, I picked up off of him. And, I think that's kind of what made me the player I am, and also I think like NBA wise, I think Steph. I looked up to Steph a lot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where my shooting comes from.
Shooter.
Yeah, just watching Steph a lot. Not only the highlights, just games, watching him work out, pregame workouts, just taking a lot of that stuff.
That's crazy, Steph.
Yeah.
That's going to be the young kids generation.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
A lot of
like hearing that now, it's like, wow, you got to see. That's what they saw. And
Yeah.
even us that saw before him, we like, nah, Steph is like that.
Yeah.
Top 5 point guards all time, you actually
Easily.
need.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
1 or 2.
He could be possibly top 5 all time. Obviously, another story, but hey,
Yeah.
he could possibly. I got him in there personally.
Old heads will want
Yeah,
to
they
make
will.
old heads bad or your interview will.
Yeah, well, leave that later. We don't want to ruin it with that. You're right.
Let me know though, how do y'all young folks think about? I mean, y'all are a little bit younger than us, but how y'all think about Bron? 'Cause I know our generation, we think highly of Bron. You know what I'm saying? He was.
Yeah, how do y'all think? Yeah.
Yeah, because like Steph was pretty much coming up at the same time as Brian. It's funny because right now they consider Steph and Brian like the same generation.
Yeah.
But really, some people might say Steph came like right after Brian. So how you look at Brian? You and your homies and everything.
Personally, I have MJ number 1. but
You got LeBron number 1?
MJ.
Oh,
But
Okay.
I mean, you can't deny what Bron's done. He's still 40, putting up 25 a game. Like that's unheard of.
For real.
And he came in at 18 out of high school.
he's a freak.
He took Cleveland to the finals his first year, second year.
Third,
I think it was the
Third
third
year.
which is
Third year.
amazing.
Yeah.
2021.
Didn't he get his MVP? That
Yeah, MVP.
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So, but no, man. So, like, when did you realize basketball was for you? Like, everybody knows where it was a moment where they kind of separate, where they're like, you know what, I'm better than a lot of the people I'm surrounded with like in my environment. What was a moment for you that made you realize, you know what, basketball is my sport. That's what I'm gonna do.
It was fourth grade AAU when I was playing for Central Area.
Central Area.
Shout out Coach Ed.
Shout out to Central Area.
It was a specific tournament. It was I think it was the Bloomington Kennedy tournament, and I think it was the second game we played Bloomington Kennedy, and we was getting mashed. And I had faked the injury, and my dad came.
Hold on. What? Hold on.
Diabolical.
Whoa, hold on.
He don't know this. He don't know this.
Whoa, okay.
Injury?
I faked the injury.
Put a Martin, man. All right, yeah, go ahead, continue.
He took me to concessions, and he was like, man, what is you doing? Like, you over, you doing unnecessary stuff, like you, whoa. And I came back, and I think I scored like 12 straight. Brought us back into the game. I think we won that game. The third game, I think it was the semifinals. I think we played Andover, and I had 30. And I think the rest of the fourth grade year, I was like balling. And it was just, I think that's when I knew I had like separation when it came in terms of like the people around me and my environment and other people I was playing against.
Yeah.
That's deep. Like, cause going back, what type of injury did you fake?
I did my in and out, and I went to the basket, and I missed it, and I fell, and I hit my head, and I was like, bro, we down by 20, like, bro. We down by.
I be telling coaches all the time, no, listen. Coaches think I be playing when I'm reffing. I'm like, your boy faking, man. Ain't nothing wrong with you, man. He's hurt. Man, he's not hurt, man. Like, I watched what happened, okay? I just ain't on that with the kid. But hey, I know he faking, but go ahead, man. That's crazy.
Snap.
And I was holding my head. He was on the sideline. He was like, get up. And I was like, I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up. And they called the timeout, and he took me. And I was like, bro, I gotta lock in, bro. I gotta go hoop. Yeah.
But way to get back in there, though.
Now, way to get
A
back
lot of
in
people
there,
won't
like
even
you said.
admit that they fake, a little injury here. Because I know people that'll fake an injury and not come back. Like,
They'll lie to they'll lie to the end of their days that they didn't fake that injury. Like, bro, we were there.
and then they'll act like, well, I got hurt.
Like, it would have made a
It wasn't
difference.
us. Yeah, it wasn't me. I was hurt.
That's deep, man.
That's
But
what they be on.
shout out to you for admitting that. That was real. And like you
Yeah.
said, just going back and finishing the tournament strong.
Yeah.
That's respectable for sure.
So I'm gonna ask you, man, what went into your decision to go to TCA? You know what I'm saying? Being from St. Paul, of course, you played at Jamal. You got Central right up the street. Highland, other St. Paul. You got Como. You got of course, I ain't saying you should go to any area
Yeah.
that's Central, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What made you make that decision? Like, I'm gonna go to a charter school. Fight through it. Of course, you're not gonna get the most talented of players or athletes to come to that school, which is going to be a lot of kids that's there for, preparatory work, trying to get to college. But what made you say, I'm going to go here and, do my own thing at this charter school?
So, fifth grade year, I had graduated from Maxfield. And at the time, my brother was going to Great River. And we were deciding, and they had enrolled me fourth grade year, but I got put on the wait list. So, sixth grade year, I got in. And really, Great River is just good academics. Like, they'll get you into school. So, yeah, that was it. And in terms of basketball, I really think, like, it was a place for me to, like, grow. Even though I had, like, the opportunity to transfer, I think it was better for me to, like, go somewhere where I know I could develop and like help others and grow and create my own legacy.
What was like kind of hard like playing that Thursday though? Was there? It had to be times where you're playing to certain teams and it's like they're only focused on maybe on you or one other dude. Did that kind of help you? Like, how did you kind of conquer that? Because I know you went there all 4 years, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So like, you had to deal with that for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So like, how did you kind of get used? Are you used to that now? Like, how'd you kind of get over that?
So freshman year, I played with the twins.
Yeah.
Carmelo Kings.
Oh yeah,
he had the twins. They was
Yeah.
here.
So
Take
ninth
some
grade
pressure
year,
off you.
and really my role that year, I was just spot up shooter, 3-and-D type guy. So sophomore year, they had both graduated, and I was like, the main guy, I would say. So sophomore year, it was rough because I wasn't used to having the main role and being a leader, and I would say I struggled sometimes in the year, but I think a lot of it came from playing bigger schools. Like when we played bigger schools, I wouldn't say they were better than us. They just had more skilled players than us. So it was rough because we didn't get a lot of those competitive games. So when we did, it was like a big difference from when we played like conference games or other teams we were used to.
All right. Yeah. So what was like, excuse me. So you're senior now, you're graduating. What was the journey like for you? What was maybe a couple moments that stood out for you all 4 years? You can pick any moment for you related to the game.
I would say number one was probably sections freshman year. Mm-hmm. We came in as I think the 7th seed, and we had first round was a breeze. Second round we played the 2 seed, and in our section, a 2 seed had never beat a 7 seed. So, we came into there and St. Croix Prep.
Okay.
Last year, they had lost to them in the section finals to go to state. So, it was a revenge game for a lot of the guys. And, I had played JV 8th grade year. So, even though it wasn't, like, affecting me personally, I knew we had a mission for the other guys who
he held it down for
Right.
the OGs, for the older classmen. Yeah, he held it down, man. He got their get back, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of alumni there, and we had one, but I had got hurt. Mm-hmm. So third game we had played Concordia, and I had like a hip problem. I don't think it was broken or fractured. I think it was fractured, maybe not, but it was like bothering me, and you can see in like the first 4 minutes, I was limping bad. Right. And I was like, I got to play through this. I played through it. I had 25, on like an iffy hit.
That's huge. As a freshman?
As a freshman, yeah.
Yeah, we won the double overtime. We lost Thriller, but I think that was like probably one of my greatest moments because, we had never got deep into the playoffs like that. Yeah. And that was like my only time doing that. So, it was pretty fun.
That's real. That says a lot about your character because, your favorite moment was like basically a team win, a team getting the advantage over, like you said, a past rivalry. Just getting that done, getting completed. You could have said, I scored 2,000 points.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You could have said many things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Not too many people who scored 2,000 points for a school.
Right.
Like, it's not a common thing. Like, not as, people think, oh, yeah, no, it's not. So
no matter where you play.
No matter where you play. No matter where you play, it's not easy.
At all.
I don't care who you are, like where. Yeah, exactly. So that's just kind of shows the character that you have. So that's real, just about that.
Yeah, and let me ask, where you scored all those points. What's a like big game for you that you just scored? Like, what's your like career high, and then maybe what's another game where you just felt hot?
I'd probably say either Concordia or math and science. Concordia was junior year, and that was our first time playing them since we had lost finals, in sections. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like I had like a evil mindset. Y'all ever watch the Kobe interview where he was like he listened to the Michael Myers theme song before I was like, I did that,
He was in there like psycho. The psycho mode.
Yeah.
We gotta play the scary joint. Hey, hit that blue one, Malik. Hit the blue one.
And then math and science, it was also junior year. They were our rivals, and the year before that, I think they won off a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
So, it was another revenge game.
So you be remember some of these revenge games.
Yeah, I'll be marking them on my calendar. I'll be having calendar. I'll be marking them. Yeah.
Now that's good. That's a good way to keep you going. It's good. It's that's like the basketball players we come from watching, from back in the day when we were way younger. That's what's missing from the game now. I feel like there's too many people that want to be friends. They want to take Instagram pictures with each other, which is cool. Y'all can be friends, but you ain't got to show us all the time. We want to see the competitive nature, or at least don't do it at all while y'all playing this game. Do it later, But that's just dope you saying that. But just speaking back on this season, or just in general, just your basketball overall career, you can say this season or your overall career, who was the toughest player you ever played against?
Probably Prince of Lake Bay.
Ooh,
we played Prince at
Minnehaha Academy.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah,
that's pretty fair.
We played Prince at a showdown, and I think we were the last game. It was pretty packed. It was at Hiawatha.
Mm-hmm.
And we were running the zone. We was like, and we ain't got nobody as tall as Prince. We just gonna have to contain him.
Or it's powerful.
He threw it. I remember one play. He threw it into him. I was behind him. One power dribble. I'm like, you can't stop that.
No.
All right.
And we only lost by 4 that game. So
I remember.
What year was that?
That was like a breakdown.
Freshman year.
That was your freshman year.
Brian and them was doing that Hiawatha. It was a lot of good.
It was
games
Minnehaha
back then.
Academy's full team?
Yeah. It was the high school game. But
wow.
like Prince's senior year, they was kind of
it was
all Prince pretty much.
Okay, got you. That's crazy. How about toughest from this year?
This year, probably James from Hiawatha.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
Yeah,
waiting for that one.
We unfortunately came to that one, man.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we were there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Jamal, shout out to you for even being real. I know people that would not. We grew up with people who would not admit that. They would not give people their props.
Definitely.
We give everybody their props. Y'all both are two young athletes who are supreme. That was our first time seeing him. Well, that was your first time seeing him live too, right? Are you seeing him before that?
That was my I've seen him before, but that was my first time seeing him
like
in
this.
a while.
Yeah. So that was crazy. I was we were like you said, it was at the game. We actually was there to cover you.
Yeah.
We catch your 2000. We actually did catch that. So shout out to you for getting that done.
Yeah.
But that game was pretty crazy, man. That was a lot of dunks, very raw athleticism.
Athlete, man.
Yeah, you can't teach that.
You can't teach that at all.
You cannot teach that.
Some of the stuff I was seeing him do, I was just amazed, at ease. Not even he can dunk without he can go on the rim and just jump straight up without a dribble. That's a different level of athleticism. So man, that's just that's huge, man.
All right, but I was gonna throw this in there because I heard you mention your pops already earlier, but I know who the real cheerleader is in that background over there, which would be your OG.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? She gonna go crazy at the games, and she is not playing about young Jamal at the games at all. But let's just talk about that, man. Talk about what that's like and how that's kind of coming to an end as far as your senior year. Of course, you're gonna get to watch you in college, and we'll talk about that. But how's that been? Having your OGs, be right there for you, supporting you all through your career.
So my dad, he was my trainer from since I was young.
Yeah.
He'd put us through different drills and stuff, and he'd work us. And I think it was different from a regular trainer because it was hardship, and it was love, even though he was tough love, even though he was communicating with you. And I think it pushed you because even though he was being hard on you, he just wants you to be the greatest player you can be.
Yeah, he molded you.
Unlock your full potential. Yeah. And then my mom, it was really mesmerizing because when I'm in the game, you do something, and she's like, "Yeah, Jamal, go Jamal," and she yelling at you. And me, I like the bark. When somebody say something to me, I take it personal. Mm-hmm. And you can hear her in the background. She like, "Don't you talk to my son like that?" and
she
really just
hard,
really just knowing
we saw live.
Really just knowing they got your back through everything, and they gonna support you through everything.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing.
That's real. I'm glad you asked that too, because just having that support system, especially coming from our community, is just very important. So that's good that you got that, because even, when, like I said, that was my first time going to TCA Academy, first time seeing you play, first time seeing both teams play. Yeah. I knew instantly who your parents were from me sitting from like 5 minutes in the game. I'm like, yup. I see Pops with the camera nonstop, and then I was seeing your mom, cheering you on and encouraging you. So that's just good to see, man. That was real good to see.
And it's also big because, like, a lot of these kids don't have a father figure in their life. And I think that's another reason why, it's important to me because, like, I have two parents, I come from a household with two parents and, just cherishing that because, it's a sad thing because a lot of these kids don't have that.
True.
Honest.
That's honest, man. That's honest.
Real. We just shout out to Coach McCoy. He was just talking about that, having two active parents.
Active, like not even together.
Not always got to be in the same household, but both parents got to be active in the kids' lives to, help, the best, get the best out that kid. Yeah.
It's a village, man.
So what led to your decision to, sign him with McAllister? I know Abe just, accepted another job, but who's the coach now? Who got you to come there?
Coach Nord.
Okay.
Shout out Coach Abe. I went on a visit with him, but so for my school internship, I worked with the athletic director, Donald Brooks.
Okay. You said a school internship?
Yeah. So at TCA?
At Great River through McAllister.
Okay.
So I go there and if he had any tasks for me, I'd do that. But if not, I just go in the gym, get shots up, run with some of the other people. And I think probably the biggest thing that led to my decision was, staying home so that my family can come watch me, support me at the games. And, when I went there, I think I took the visit and it felt like my high school. Like, it was the same environment. Right. It was a lot of community. And I think that was probably one of the biggest things for me. And just the coaches, everybody, they were just welcoming and, they had good hearts. And I think that was probably the most influential thing for me.
I know that sounds good, but I know you. I know you ain't trying to go there and sit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't let me say that. I don't know if you, so what's your intentions with that? Do you mind having to sit behind, 1 year, whatever, learn the college system, or are you going there with the expectations or with the desire and the drive to, try to get you some playing times? Because I looked them up. They were kind of middle of the conference last year.
9 and 16.
Yeah, 9 and 16, 6 and 10. So it sounds like, they can use a guy that can put some points up there. But what's your expectations there next year?
I think the biggest thing for me is just going in and killing.
Okay.
I think
mentality.
I got, not being recruited is not a hard thing, but like it just gives you extra motivation. Mm-hmm. So I'm thankful they took a chance on me, but like, I just want to go in and work, and it's not expected for a freshman to start. You gotta like do some things to impress guys, but like, I have the best intentions. I want to, go in and help the team anyway, and just going in and working. That's just my biggest priority.
That's the right mindset to have.
And I was gonna say, just going around your decision to go there. Did you like go on other visits, other places? Did you were contacted by any even JUCO coaches, or even consider trying to go the JUCO route? Or are you kind of just more like, I don't want to go that route? Or how did that go?
I was in contact with a couple of JUCOs in the Minnesota area. There was a D3 in Texas I was also in contact with. And then sophomore year, I went to a camp at Youngstown, and I stayed in touch with the coach. And, there was a lot of interest, but the Youngstown coach left. He went to Utah State. Okay. I thought JUCO, a lot of the JUCOs, they didn't have any scholarships left, so it was going to be out-of-pocket costs. And McAllister, they gave me the money, so I felt like it was the best decision for like my future financially. And you know, also just having a spot to play basketball.
Because you was able to get an academic or
Yeah, yes, sir.
yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That's dope.
That's
Smart
dope.
man.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, take the
And it's
advantage.
still right up the street.
Right.
Parents can come see you. Parents and family can still
Yeah.
come see you. I'm going to come.
Yeah,
I'm
for
going to be
sure.
there. So know that. You're going to see us at a couple games for
Yeah.
sure.
How you feeling going into it? Just is college something that you've thought about for years and something like anything like that, or do you watch the college game currently? Just how what's your whole mentality and feeling that you about to be a college basketball player?
It's still, you know, like unreal. I think no matter the level, like
Oh, yeah, no matter.
Yeah.
it's a dream for everybody. And you know, my biggest thing is, you know, just going in and helping. They had a lot of rising seniors, so we have six new freshmen, and you know, just learning from the older guys and the coaches. I think we have 2 coaches that play overseas, so there's a lot of things to learn. And I also think like it's still room for me to get better. Like
Right.
no matter what I've done, so I think that's important.
What you going to major in? You got the
Majoring
academic scholarship. What you think about majoring in?
majoring in nursing.
Nursing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Trying to
legit.
help. Look, thinking about the people, man. I love this young man.
We see you.
That's a fact. My bad.
So yeah, what you thinking about your future? How you feeling about? I just asked you that question about basketball, but just beyond basketball, how you feeling about your future? Where you think you're gonna be in the next, 3 to 4 years coming out of college? What's kind of some of your aspirations? Just where your mind at right now?
You know, everybody hopefully still playing basketball. Everybody hopefully think about doing that. But you know, I have a love for working with children. Like I did a daycare, and you know, I also work with young students. So I want to hopefully become a pediatrician, and you know, just thinking about community and giving back. I think that's what I want to do. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
That's
big
dope.
heart.
Oh, good.
That's dope, man. Well, man, just keep on striving, keep on winning, man, and keep on staying focused. It seems like you're level-headed. I know your parent I don't know your parents personally, but just from hearing, your stories and just seeing them in person, it seems like they're gonna definitely be there for that extra support you're gonna need in college. Especially, there's gonna be times where you're stressed out. It's gonna be times where you're like, "What's going on?" Because that's just the way of life when you get older, when you get to elevating in new stages of life. So just keep on striving, keep on doing you, man. We appreciate you for coming here for this interview, and we definitely will be there along the way. It's definitely, it's right up the street.
Right down the street. We
Right
there.
down the street.
I'm going to be there.
So,
definitely, because that's my thing.
that's just going on with
Check
it,
these
man.
locals. I'm St. Thomas and McAllister. Now I know somebody at McAllister. That's
We got to get Tyler Hero's little brother on the pod next. Now
I just seen that.
you saw that,
Yeah, that'd be crazy,
we got to
wouldn't
get
it?
that. We got to get that.
or the coach.
Johnny Tower followers,
we can
yeah,
ask
we
the
can talk to
Tower.
him. We got to
Tower.
I feel like once we get a couple of these coaches joints out, we talking about business on here now. All right, yeah, man. But it's been another episode, Twin City Sports.
Yes.
We out.
We out.